Welcome to Faith and Freedom. For the next few minutes, we hope to inform, inspire, and encourage you as we discuss the legal victories and challenges to your fundamental freedoms and religious liberties. Faith and Freedom comes to you from Liberty Counsel, a civil liberties education and legal defense organization. Join us now as Matt Staver, the President and General Counsel of Liberty Counsel, explains the latest legal issues all across this country in the courtrooms of America. Liberty Counsel is winning the battle for your constitutional freedoms.
The U.S. State Department is promoting an anti-Israel agenda. We're going to be talking about it on Faith and Freedom. I'm Matt Staver, founder and chairman of Liberty Counsel. Joining me is Matt Barber, vice president of Liberty Counsel Action. Matt, I was recently in Israel during the Glenn Beck Restoring Courage event, and there was a stark illustration of some of the blatant anti-Israel propaganda that's coming out of the State Department. On August 24, which was a Wednesday, it was the very same day of the last event for the Restoring Courage, right outside the southern wall in the Old City, there was a warning that was issued by the U.S. State Department through the Consulate General's office in Israel, and it warned U.S. citizens to stay away from rallies on August 24 within 4 to 10 p.m. time frame, and the Beck event started at 5, and in the same geographical locations as the Beck event was. It didn't mention Glenn Beck's event or Restoring Courage, but it said because of, quote, recent clashes in that area, citizens should stay away and be very guarded and careful and avoid crowds and rallies. Well, first of all, there were no clashes because we were there both before and after that event, and there was not a single clash in that area. Nothing was reported. And then they also banned from the event U.S. officials from being anywhere in that area, so they could not even come. So that's probably why, even though some members of Congress were there, they did not show up for that event. Eric Cantor was there as an example, and he did not show up for the event. Was banned
from showing up.
That's because the State Department banned all U.S. officials from being there.
Yeah, it's beyond petty. It's unconscionable, and it's just nasty politics, and it's transparent. In light of the fact that they lied, there was no uprising or danger on the horizon. There was no evidence of that whatsoever. They still issue this, quote, emergency message stating that, quote, Jerusalem is under heightened security alert. And as you point out, basically steering and pushing people away from this rally because it showed support for the state of Israel, yet the Obama administration turns around at every opportunity and shows unconditional support for a Palestinian authority, the Palestinian state, and those who threaten the very existence of Israel. It makes no sense.
No, it makes no sense. And at the same time that they were banning U.S. officials from being there, Israeli high-ranking officials or staff members were there. In fact, I spoke to one of the individuals who works in the Prime Minister's office and is right there in the Prime Minister's office area, and that individual was there. Also, one of the children, one of the sons of one of the high-ranking government officials I spoke to, who was doing a high school project about why the United States supports Israel. And so I did an interview with that individual. Other individuals were there as well. Members of the Knesset were there. The mayor of Jerusalem was there. Obviously, if any of those individuals would have, if anybody would have had intelligence that there was a security threat, then the mayor of Jerusalem and the people in the prime minister's office and the members of the Knesset, they would have all known, but yet they showed up. It was only the United States that tried to intimidate its citizens from showing up at the event and banning U.S. officials from being there.
Well, and coming on the heels of this clearly politically motivated warning, the New York Times is now reporting that the Obama administration has bugged and been spying on the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. These are our allies, and the New York Times is reporting that the Obama administration is spying on them in Washington, D.C. Again, what is going on with this Obama administration, the first administration I know of that has showed such hostility to our greatest ally in the Middle East, Israel?
Well, when you go to the U.S. Consulate office, and Liberty Counsel put a press release out on this in Israel, they had, at the time when we looked at it, this was the week of August 24, after this warning came out, we went to the consulate's website, And on their website, they have 7 pro-Palestinian events, no pro-Israel events at that time. And interestingly, they had an event that they actually funded by taxpayer dollars in the same general area in the city, in the old city. And it was a concert, so obviously there would be large crowds, and it was to foster better understandings between Americans and Palestinians. So they actually used taxpayer dollars to do that. They have 7 pro-Palestinian events, no pro-Israeli events. We also, just before we went there for the event in August, we learned that the United States is funding the Palestinian Authority to change some of its traffic signs so that they will now be written in Arabic and English, but they will eliminate Hebrew. Now, what kind of message is that saying to the Israelis?
Again, it's unconscionable. And in a time where we have tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, of radical Islamists who seek to destroy the great Satan, that's the United States, and the little Satan, that's Israel, President Obama has been going around on his apology tours, apologizing, trying to befriend and appease, taking the Neville Chamberlain approach, trying to appease those who seek nothing less than the total destruction of both the United States and Israel. Yet this president, I guess, somehow thinks that with his teleprompter in hand, he can smooth talk these people into actually liking us. So he does this to the detriment of our greatest ally in the Middle East. And Matt, I mean, why isn't it important that the United States maintains strong ties and strong lines of trust with the state of Israel?
It does. I mean, I think, obviously we have a strong ally in Israel. And if we lose that ally, and if Israel is no longer our ally, then we have really no good, solid allies that we can rely upon in the Middle East. Israel has, we are connected through history and through our biblical Judeo-Christian values that we share. Those values have affected and transformed us here in America, and also they form the values of Western civilization. And in fact, when I talked to the Prime Minister when I was there in June of this year, and others as well, they get it. They understand that what's at stake is not about controversy over pieces of property, but it is really an attack on the survival of Western civilization.
Well, and you hear people talking about spreading the seeds of democracy through, the Arab Spring and in Egypt and in Libya and elsewhere. And yet the one place where democracy, a democratic republic, is truly in existence, where there actually is freedom in the state of Israel, we are alienating those individuals while we're buddying up with people in the Muslim Brotherhood and others who, guess what, don't want democracy. They want a caliphate. They want Muslim Islamic world domination and control over the world. This is not something we're making up. This is their own stated vision, their own stated goal, yet we're buddying up with them and ignoring the one area in the Middle East where there is democracy.
Absolutely. Well, if you haven't ever been to Israel, I encourage you to go to Israel. And in fact, one of the things we were looking at, we were comparing the homicides in Washington, D.C. versus the homicides in all of Israel, let alone Jerusalem. And in 2010, there were 132, I think, homicides in Washington, D.C., down significantly from over 400 in recent years, and 139 in all of Israel. So if there's a place that you ought to be concerned about visiting, it's probably not Israel. It may be more some of the big cities like Washington, D.C. But I would encourage you to call Liberty Counsel, 1-800-671-1776. We'll be taking individuals and groups over to Israel in 2012, so you might want to find out how you can be a part of those events where we'll tour the biblical sites, but we'll also talk to important Israeli government leaders regarding what's taking place in Israel and how it affects the rest of the world.
Well, and taking advantage of these outreach trips to Israel, people can actually become ambassadors, official ambassadors to Israel. How does that work?
Well, you can actually be a part of, one of the things we want to do is to help individuals understand the biblical foundation of Israel and the geopolitical issues of Israel. And just like we're ambassadors for Christ, we want to be able to stand up for Israel and stand for Israel. In fact, we have some bumper stickers, and it's called the Stand for Israel bumper sticker. It has the Israeli and the United States flag, and it has www.lc.org at the bottom. Stand for Israel. I have one of those bumper stickers on my car. Call us at 1-800-671-1776. Go to our website. You can ask for, at lc.org, the Stand with Israel bumper sticker. You can also help contribute to this ministry by texting at 20222, and in the subject line put down LC. We also have the book Take Back America, and also the book by David Barton, Original Intent. Good resources for your library, Take Back America and Original Intent. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Liberty Counsel.
You have been listening to Matt Staver of Liberty Counsel. Our hope is to encourage and inspire you to stand up for your faith, family, and freedoms. We can accomplish a lot when we work together. Get informed and get involved today. Sign up for our free monthly newsletter, The Liberator. We will send it out to you free of charge. Stay informed with our Liberty Alert email update. Just click on the website at www.lc.org or call us at 1-800-671-1776. Tune in next time to learn more about your rights right here on Faith and Freedom.